Say your name with confidence. Hello again, and welcome back to Airlearn French. If you're watching this, it probably means you survived your first bonjour. Bravo! Let's tackle the next phrase that every French learner needs. How to introduce yourself without panicking, because in French, introductions are a little like dancing. There's a rhythm to it, and once you know the steps, it's actually quite fun. As someone who's learnt French myself, I know that confidence doesn't come from memorizing phrases. It comes from practicing them. That's why I really like the Airlearn app. It lets you rehearse the real introductions with native pronunciation and makes it feel natural. So let's start simple. In English, we say, my name is Diana. In French, that's je m'appelle Diana. My name is Diana. Literally, je m'appelle means I call myself. So you're saying, I call myself Diana. When I first started learning French, I didn't realize that. So one day, I proudly told a new French friend, je m'appelle Diana. He looked at me and smiled kindly. I had just said I have myself called Diana, which makes absolutely no sense unless you're both a poet and slightly confused. We both laughed and I never forgot it again. So here's the structure. Je m'appelle Diana. My name is Diana. If you want to ask someone else, you say, et toi, comment t'appelles-tu? And you, what's your name? If you're being polite or speaking to someone older in a more formal situation, et vous, comment vous appelez-vous? And you, what's your name? Formal. Let's practice together. I'll say it slowly, then you repeat. Je m'appelle Diana. My name is Diana. Et toi, comment t'appelles-tu? And you, what's your name? Enchanté. Nice to meet you. If you're a woman, add the little E at the end. Enchanté. If you're a man, it's enchanté. You don't actually pronounce the E, but it's there in writing. Let's practice. Bonjour, je m'appelle Ria. Bonjour Ria, moi je m'appelle Diana. Enchanté, enchanté. Simple, warm, perfectly French. Now let's talk about how to make it sound natural. In France, people often add a little moi, c'est, to sound more casual. It's like saying, me, I'm Diana. Moi c'est Diana, I'm Diana. This works beautifully when everyone's introducing themselves in a group. Fun tip. When you're introducing yourself, don't be afraid to use your voice and your body. The French use a lot of expressions. A small smile, a nod, maybe even a little gesture. It shows warmth and confidence. And remember, your accent is part of your charm. French people love hearing foreigners try to express themselves in their language, especially with sincerity. Let's repeat them once more. Je m'appelle Diana. My name is Diana. Et toi, comment tu t'appelles? And you, what's your name? Enchanté. Nice to meet you. Moi, c'est Diana. I'm Diana. In France, people don't usually ask, how old are you or where do you work right away. The introduction stays light. You share your names, maybe where you're from, and that's enough. Je viens de Mumbai. I'm from Mumbai. Je suis étudiante. I'm a student. Just enough to keep conversation friendly, not like an interview. When you combine what you learnt in episode 1 with this, you can already have a first little French moment. Bonjour, je m'appelle Diana. Et toi, comment t'appelles-tu? Hello, my name is Diana. And you, what's your name? That's it. You've started your first real conversation. When I first introduced myself correctly in French, the person smiled and replied with a fast sentence I didn't understand at all. But you know what? It didn't matter. I had connected, and that meant that smile gave me the courage to keep going. That's the secret. Every time you try, you grow. Every je m'appelle is a small victory. So practice that line everywhere you can, in front of a mirror, in your head, even to your dog, if you have one. And the next time you meet a French person, you'll be ready to shine. That's all for today. In the next episode, we'll move from names to feelings, learning how to ask, "How are you?" and actually understanding the answer. Merci et à très bientôt.